This Tuesday, December 31st, NBA Player Props edition of the Propcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code MACHINE to get a 50% deposit bonus of up to $1,000. We're also brought to you by Rhythm, the leader in data-driven picks and props. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Wilson, as he throws deep downfield, it's going to be caught by Lonte.
Welcome everyone to the Propcast, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. NBA Propcast here. I said we would we'll do more of these NBA prop shows as we progress through the NBA season, and here we are for another one to wrap up the 2024 year, getting into the 6 games on the NBA schedule for the Tuesday card. We'll go through our player props, talk about some ones that we're looking at, trying to get to the window with, and then we'll wrap it up with best bets here on the NBA Propcast. But joining me here today to help me break down the player props, you guys know him as the voice of the MLB Gambling Podcast, the NBA Gambling Podcast, and of course here on the Propcast as well. Got my guy here with me, it's Lonte Smith. Lonte, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
Doing good, man. Long time no see. But yeah, man, looking forward to it. Always, the best. I think the best way to bet on sports is player props, no matter the sport. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we just finished the NBA Propcast. Sorry, the NBA Gambling Podcast, I should say. So you're probably listening to this, depending on your order, maybe first or second. But got 2 pods out there for the NBA New Year's Eve game. So hopefully we do find some winners. So if you haven't already, listen to the NBA Gambling Podcast for the side and totals breakdown. Go ahead and go over there. Wrap it up at about 45 to 48 minutes, and then we'll try to keep it short and sweet here as well on the Propcast, so you guys can get to all the bets here before the games to tip off, which is early on New Year's Eve, starting at 3 p.m. Eastern time. A couple of Eastern Conference matchups in those games. But Lonte, let's not waste any time, man. Let's get into it here for our player props. We'll give you about 3 to 4 each, what we're looking at, and then we'll go from there. I'll let you lead it off here, man. First player prop for today. What are you looking at?
Yeah, I like Rudy Gobert under 21.5 PRA. I think it's a bad matchup for him with the many different small ball lineups that OKC can use and that they do implement. Even with, with Hartenstein on the floor, I think he can pull them away from the basket, make them defend on the perimeter, which takes away from those rebound opportunities. Obviously, not too worried about the scoring here. They don't really look to score. He usually gets a lot of, lobs and just like putbacks and things like that. So I'm not really worried about that. He's under in 4 of the last 7. When I looked at some of the matchups that he played in that are similar to what OKC does as far as small ball, I looked at Houston, New York, Golden State, and Sacramento, who are notoriously like small ball lineup teams. So he had 16 versus Houston, 7 versus the Knicks, 14 versus Golden State, but he did play Golden State again and had 32. So I guess that's a positive, but 19 versus Sacramento. So I think matchup wise, this is a spot where he struggles a little bit. Maybe he can give us, I think he'll have more rebounds than points. Not really worried about the assist there. So I'm looking at him to go maybe 11 rebounds, 6 points, 6, 7 points, 1 assist maybe. So I like Rudy Gobert under 21.5 PRA.
Yeah, things have changed over for the Thunder team, obviously, with the addition of Isaiah Hartenstein. Since they acquired him in the offseason, signed him to that contract. He's been really good to me this season, has Isaiah Hartenstein. But yeah, I've sworn off Rudy Gobert overs, so I'm definitely not gonna be able to ever talk you off taking unders with the guys. So again, it's like you mentioned, it's strictly matchup based, right? Especially if they're gonna be pulling him out, out of the paint or whatever the case might be there. So definitely unders for Rudy Gobert. For my first player prop, I'll go to the early game, the between the Bucks and the Pacers. I'm looking at Pascal Siakam rebounds in this game over 7.5. It seems like Giannis may end up playing in this game, but I have seen Pascal Siakam, obviously with his days as well, when he was with the Toronto Raptors, have success rebounding the basketball against the Milwaukee Bucks. Just looking at the last about 10 games here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games. He's had 7.5 or more rebounds, or should I say 8 or more rebounds, 7.5, 8 or more rebounds in 7 of those 9 games there. They played earlier this season back on November 22nd. Finished that game with 25 points, 8 rebounds, but I do think that he can at minimum get 8 rebounds here tonight against the Bucks. Take a look at the Bucks against the center / power forward as far as rebounds. They're allowing 17 rebounds to that center position. They're allowing 8.7 to the power forward position. But Monster is a guy that really doesn't, for his size, doesn't rebound the basketball as well as he should. He does have flashes, obviously, when he does get like 10 plus rebounds, but I trust Pascal Siakam to be a more consistent guy when it does come to the rebounding side here. So I do like Siakam over 7.5 rebounds here, Lonte.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all. I like Pascal in the game as well. He was one of the few guys who had good games versus Milwaukee. Pretty much plays well versus them. Even in the playoff series, he played well. Regular season, I think, was kind of split because he got there after they had played maybe a game or two. But yeah, I like Siakam. We can stay in that same game, to be honest, because I like the other wing for Indiana here. I like Benedict Mathurin over 16.5 points. He had 20 in the first meeting versus Milwaukee. Perimeter defense of Milwaukee's improved, but still a little bit poor.
Yeah.
Look at Benedict Mathurin, what he's been doing. He's been a lot more aggressive as of late, especially over the last few games. He's got 8 free throw attempts in 2 of his last 3, which is something I like to see. He likes to get downhill. He doesn't shoot a ton of threes. He likes the mid-range and get to the lane. So I think he can be able to do that. And I think getting to the free throw line, being more aggressive, has kind of propelled him to get over in 2 of his last 3. If you look at guards against Milwaukee, so I'll just go down the list of a few. Kobe and both had 20 plus. Shake Milton 20, Poole 26, Donovan Mitchell 27, J-Dub had 18, Suggs had 32. So that's just over the last few games. It's a couple of guys mixed in there with like 16 and 17 or 15 and 14. But for the most part, these are similar guards to what Benedict Mathurin is. So I think he has some success here, especially scoring the ball early and often. So I like him over that 16.5.
Yeah. Relatively starting to get healthy are the Indiana Pacers. I know they were missing guys like Andrew Nembhard. So, this Pacers team has that, like we talked about on the NBA pod, the in-season revenge angle in this game. I think this game will definitely come down to the wire here, but Mathurin has been a guy for them, and I think that's going to have to continue in this game here as well against the Milwaukee Bucks. All right, Lonte, before we do get over to the next player prop here, just want to remind everybody about the SGPN app. If you haven't already downloaded it, make sure you guys do it because it's completely free. You get all of our pods and our picks pages all in one convenient app. Just go to the Google Play Store or the App Store. Just download or type in SGPN, and then you can download the SGPN app for supporting the network and helping us grow over here. All right. For my next player prop, a couple of things I was looking at for the later cap games, but I'm gonna go Wemby here tonight. I think this could be a big game for him against the LA Clippers. He's played in 3 career games against the LA Clippers. I think we talked about this on the NBA pod that we do probably expect some guys in some capacity to sit here for the LA Clippers, but they've played. So he's played in 4 times in his career, but I think the one thing that really stood out to me was the last 2 matchups against the Clippers for Wemby. 22 points, 15 rebounds last season, and then earlier this year, back on November 4th, in 34 minutes, Wemby played. He scored 24 points and 13 rebounds. So you look at it a couple of ways. If you want to do the points and rebounds combo, I think that's I don't want to say it's a safer option, but I think would be the smarter option for me, at least, because that's been a very profitable angle this season for me. That number's at 36.5 for Wemby in this game. And then if you just want to do rebounds, I know we talked about it for Underdog Fantasy entry on the NBA pod, but his rebounds are at 11.5. But I'll take the 36.5 points and rebounds over for Wembanyama. Like I mentioned, he's done it. He's got it done by the hook in both games in his last 2 matchups against the Clippers. But in particular, over the last couple games here, 34-8 against the Minnesota Timberwolves. He had 42 points, 18 rebounds against the Knicks, 30-7 against the Portland Trail Blazers. So I think it's a good opportunity for him to get it done here. Also, a profitable angle for me also has been his 3-pointers made. Typically, it's priced at 3.5. I would want to be shocked if they have it again at plus odds again, like they do here today as well. So I'll be all over Victor Wembanyama props here against the Clippers. Points and rebounds officially over 36.5 here, Lonte.
Yeah, I like that as well. I think they'll probably implement a lot of Zach Collins to kind of play Zubac. I know he's a little bit undersized, but you don't want Wemby kind of in the paint getting banged around with Zubac getting foul trouble. So I think they utilize Zach Collins a little bit more on Zubac. Not a lot of interior depth for the Clippers, so I think Wemby can have his way. Obviously, the points will be there. I think he's obviously matchup nightmare against anybody, but Clippers per se don't think they have the guys to be able to stay within range of him to get close to. He might can get 35 points on his own. So yeah, definitely agree with that. Let's go. Oh, my bad. Are you?
No, you're good.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we talked about Wemby. Let's talk about where you can actually get down on these entries here, Lonte.
Here we go.
That's going to be our friends over at Underdog Fantasy, man. Look, they're making it so easy, honestly, because they, number one, have one of the biggest menus for all sports when it comes to Underdog Fantasy. And you can win up to 1,000x your with Underdog streaks there as well. And like I mentioned, they're always making it easier with profit boosts, give me pick'ems, NFL, college football, college basketball, MMA, NASCAR, golf is back, and so much more. And you can now use specials and boosts on all flex entries as well. So sign up with promo code MACHINE to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. That's underdogfantasy.com. Make sure you use that promo code MACHINE. All right, Lonte, let's keep it rolling here, man. What's another player prop you like here for tonight?
Yeah, so we'll go to Memphis. I like Tyus Jones over 17.5 points and assists. A good spot for him versus his former team. He's over in 9 of his last 14. And seemingly he's been in a slump lately, like scoring wise and efficiency wise, but a lot of that had to do with kind of the lineups fluctuating guys in and out. And now he'll get the big three back healthy. I think that opens up a lot more assist opportunities as well as open shots off double teams from guys. So I think he can walk into, a 13-7 type of game. I think that's a good floor game for him. If you look at what opposing teams' point guards have been doing against this team, they've gone over this number in 5 straight. So I think he can make it 6. Tyus Jones plays a good floor game, doesn't turn the ball over. Now with all his pieces back, I think he has a pretty good game. I can see 15-5 as well. Just kind of it's plenty of ways to get over this number. And I think Tyus Jones ends up getting there against his former team.
Revenge angle. I always love a good revenge angle. In the NBA,
they still love him there though. So they still love him there.
Yeah. And I can, we talk about this Memphis team that felt like there was going to be a little bit of log jam there at the guard position. And I think this was a really solid pickup for the Phoenix Suns. They needed that guy that can really initiate the offense for them in Tyus Jones. And, him and Trey Jones, the Jones brothers have really been underrated. We talked about Phoenix, just a lot of it has been injury with, Kevin Durant being out for a couple weeks here and there. Devin Booker, it seems like he's going to be able to go here tonight for the Memphis Grizzlies here as well. But I think that solid piece that makes this team really go has been Tyus Jones for this Grizzlies team. Okay, so I also want to stay in this Memphis Grizzlies game, and maybe you can, help me talk into one of these player props. So one was either Mason Plumlee over on his rebounds, or it was going to be Desmond Bane points and assists to go over. I think I was shooting more towards Desmond Bane because I think the usage is going to be there for him in this game against the Phoenix Suns. The number for him, his points were at 21.5 points and rebounds here tonight. For Desmond Bane is sitting at 27.5. Honestly, this could be a game where he does get 28 plus points, or I wouldn't even have to worry about the assists. But we talked about, if you haven't listened to the NBA pod already, I keep referencing it, but the amount of injuries that the Memphis Grizzlies have for this game against the Phoenix Suns, it's a PTSD from what happened last season with this team, where you had like 10 different guys that were going to be out every single night. And they were relying guys on like the end of the bench to come in and provide production for this team. But I know the numbers right now are not backing this up just because he's only done this once over his last 5 games against the opposition. But it's just more of a thing for me that, hey, his usage in this game is going to have to be through the roof for this Memphis Grizzlies team. I know they have Scottie Pippen Jr. out there as well, who's actually been really good for this Memphis Grizzlies team. But I think there's an opportunity for Desmond Bane to really, step up his Memphis Grizzlies team and possibly pull off the upset victory, as they are a 4.5-point underdog in this game here tonight against the Phoenix Suns here. So Desmond Bane is the one I was going to get to the window with. He's actually been better on the road, believe it or not, when it comes to production as far as scoring. At home this season in 15 games, he's only averaging 14.5 points per game. On the road, he's averaging 17.5 points per game. The assists have been there as well. I want to see him start being a little bit more consistent from the three-point line, just because it's been a little bit of a down year for him shooting the basketball. But I definitely think that Desmond Bane will be able to find his touch again from beyond the arc there. So I'll go with Desmond Bane here as official pick here, Lonte. Points and assists over the number of 27.5. Just hoping that Memphis, number one, his usage rate will be through the roof. And then obviously with all the injuries, that even if it turns into a blowout, that these guys are going to have to be out there playing.
Yeah, that was actually one of mine. I like PRA 33.5 over.
There you go.
Pretty much, you just outlined. I think his usage will be up. I also think that he's been one of the guys who just has not gotten like up to speed with the offense, the new offense and stuff. So he's been beneficiary of. I mean, he's been like a non-beneficiary of the offense, but I think he's been doing a little bit better as of late. He's been flirting with this number all month. He had a tough November, kind of in and out of the lineup. And he's not going over this number consistently. I think you mentioned that, but it's a great spot for him. Phoenix perimeter defense, it's not the greatest. I think he'll have the ball in his hands a little bit more. I think the bench rotation will shrink a little bit with all those guys being out. So I think he'll have a pretty big day scoring wise. And I think we just need a couple of assists and rebounds to get over this number. So yeah, completely agree with you on Desmond Bane.
All right, so that is 3 each there from Lonte and I. Anything else, Lonte, you're looking at here for tonight? I know we talked about Evan Mobley.
Yeah, I love Evan
as
Mobley.
well.
Yeah, that's your call. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, points and rebounds for him. Was a down night against the Golden State Warriors, but honestly, they didn't really need him out there just because it did turn into a blowout. But we talked about he's from the California state of California, more so towards San Diego. I actually looked it up, but he went to school at USC in southern or South Los Angeles there. So maybe a bit of a homecoming for him. So if you want to look at his points and rebounds to go over in this game, I think that could be a good look for Evan Mobley. I'll throw that one out there as well. His points are at 19.5. I believe the points and rebounds are 27.5 for Evan Mobley. Let me get the official number here. 24.5. You get that over at DraftKings right now. Another play that's been really good to me, Lonte, I'll just get your thoughts on a couple more of these. I don't know if you have any more you want to throw out, but Austin Reeves' points and rebounds has been rebounds and assists has been really good to me. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of that has been when LeBron's not in the lineup. He's coming off a game where he did have 16 assists, but I think both you and I agree that we'll probably see points being put up in this Cavs and Lakers game. Hopefully the Lakers can keep this one close, but his assist and rebound number right now is sitting at 9.5. I think that he could honestly walk into at least 10 here. I know LeBron's going to be playing here tonight. At least there you have his props listed. But he's at 15.5 at -130. But Reeves has just been a guy that one of the few guys on this Lakers team that I can honestly trust here. So if you want to look at his assist and rebounds to go over in this game, over 9.5, it's the number there. And then one more note I'll mention here for the Lakers. Over the last 2 weeks, they've been the worst defense against the point guard position. They are giving up close to 35 points per game to the point guard position. They're giving up close to 4 3-pointers made, and they're also giving up 9.9 assists to the point guard position as well. So if you want to look at Darius Garland in this game for the Cleveland Cavaliers side of things, if you want to look at his points or just his assist to go over, I think that's a pretty good look there as well. So I'll throw those couple ones out at you. Darius Garland, points and assists or just assists. And then we just mentioned the Evan Mobley one there as well.
Yeah, Darius Garland's been playing like really, really well. And yeah, I can't agree with that. But I've been betting that Austin Reeves rebounds assists since last year in the playoffs. But this year,
Yeah.
I think he's been a little bit more ball dominant as far as having the ball in his hands a lot more. I think that'll continue with the trade of D'Angelo Russell. I know Shake Milton will come in here and there, but I think more than likely to put the ball in the hands of Austin Reeves. So definitely agree with that. We'll go PRA as well if we expect to see a lot of pace. Lakers been off for a few days. So they had a chance to kind of get those guys in and have a little bit of a game plan, even though the trade kind of just happened. But behind the scenes, I'm pretty sure they knew what was going to go on. So JJ's probably already got some stuff already implemented with those guys. But I do think the ball will be in Reeves' hands. So I like Reeves. I like the Reeves one a little bit more than Garland. Just thinking that Garland, might, if it's a blowout, he might sit a little bit. So it's always kind of hard to gauge that. But I mean, close spread, but we saw what happened last night. So, yeah, I would like the Reeves a little bit more than Garland. If you want to stay in that same game, I like AD under 41.5 PRA.
Okay.
37 in the first meeting. I think we talked about this on the NBA show. Just overall good matchup for the Cavs. That they got that 2 big lineup, so they can kind of switch off and play one big on the other, and the other one big on AD. The other one kind of roams. He's under in 3 of his last 4. I'm sorry. And he's kind of been flirting around this number after those 4 games. So I like the matchup for the Cavs, especially defensively. We know what they're able to do. Lakers don't really have a ton of knockdown shooters, so you can kind of dig at the ball whenever AD's in the post. So yeah, I like AD under 41.5 PRA.
You mentioned the 2 big lineup. I just went back and looked at Jared Allen's numbers against the Lakers, and he's had, some really good success against them. I just want to make sure that Evan Mobley wasn't out for these games, and I'll read off the numbers here momentarily. No. All right, so this was all with Evan Mobley in the lineup. So career-wise, averaging close to 13 points and 10 rebounds per game, Lonte, but his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games, he's had 11 or more rebounds, and he's had I'd be really curious to see what his PR is in this game for Jared Allen of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Where is his points and rebounds? So points and rebounds for Jared Allen is sitting at 21.5. His rebounds alone is probably going to be around 8.5, 9.5 would be my guess here. Let's take a look. Yeah, 9.5 is the number. But again, just to reiterate, he's had double-digit rebounds. He's had 11 or more rebounds in 5 straight head-to-head meetings against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Against the Los Angeles Lakers. And his PR has gone over 21.5 in all 5 of those games there as well. So I may just get there with the rebounds here for Jared Allen. Earlier matchup this season, 20 points, 17 rebounds. I just feel like now just kind of thinking about it, Lonte, get your thoughts on it before we do get to best bets. I feel like that Evan Mobley will be matched up on Anthony Davis, where he has to use a lot of his energy guarding Anthony Davis, where I think they then then Jared Allen frees up for like easy baskets or rebounds or vice versa as well, right? Like Anthony Davis matched up on Evan Mobley. So I think I'm going to pivot. I'm going to scratch that Evan Mobley one, and then I'm going to pivot to Jared Allen.
Yeah, I'll still bet. I can bet both. I mean, I think both have a decent shot for everything you just outlined. I think I would like Mobley a little bit more because I think AD will probably be kind of roaming and on Jared Allen, so it'll kind of keep him away from the basket. But I don't disagree with what you were saying. But I like Evan Mobley's a little bit obviously more offensively driven. So I'll take Evan Mobley over Jared Allen. But I don't disagree with what you're saying.
All right. Before we do get over to best bets here for the Tuesday night card in the association, let me tell everyone about mybookie.ag. We're brought to you by mybookie.ag plus props. They have props for every game. They also have the live dealer casino as well, even a new early cash out option available on mybookie.ag. So head over to mybookie.ag. Make sure you have promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000 plus They'll throw in a $10 casino chip as well. Again, that's mybookie.ag. Make sure you use that promo code SGPN. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm. SGPN's proud partner Rhythm is the #1 AI-powered back sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models on seconds and get predictions for betting on moneyline spreads, totals, and props. Build your own model, copy one of the top performing models from the leaderboard, or have Rhythm build a model for you. And now you can track props in the Rhythm app. NFL picks, NFL props, college football, college basketball, and NBA Rhythm. They honestly have it all. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. All right, Lonte, let's get into best bets here to wrap up the show, my man. I'll let you lead it off, man. What do you got for your best bet?
Yeah, let's go Benedict Mathurin, man. Over 16.5 points. I'll ladder him up to probably like 20. Like I said, he had 20 in the first meeting. Don't trust the perimeter defense of Milwaukee. Even if Giannis is not playing, I like him even more, but because he won't be able to protect the rim. But the guard success that Milwaukee's been allowing, I think it can't be overshadowed. Benedict Mathurin a little bit aggressive as of late, so I think he has a big game here, especially in the right spots. If he kind of bleeds into, he's been starting, but if he kind of bleeds in with those second unit players and he's the more aggressive, he has the ball in his hands a little bit more with that second unit. So, over 16.5, Benedict Mathurin, probably my best look of the day.
Love it. All right, for my best bet, I'll say the same game. I'll say on the same side. Give me Pascal Siakam over 7.5 rebounds in this game. I just like the matchup for him. Historically, he's done very well against the Milwaukee Bucks. I think that you take a look at his numbers there as well over the last several games, just overall for Pascal Siakam. He's had 8 or more rebounds in 4 of the last 5 games overall. In the last game, 2 games, I think similar situation against Boston, where I know Boston doesn't have that traditional big man. And I think Brook Lopez I think we can put him in the same category as like a Miles Turner as far as how they play the game. But I think that just opens up opportunities for Siakam to get these rebounds here. I think we do see points in this game. I think the pace will be there as well. We know how like Indiana likes to play. So more shots getting up means more rebounding opportunities. And I like this spot here for Siakam. So go over 7.5 rebounds for Siakam as my best bet. All right, that's going to wrap it up here for this edition of the NBA Propcast. I was about to say NBA Gambling Podcast, but part of the NBA Gambling Podcast, of course, as well. But here for the Propcast, specifically driven for props only here on the Propcast. So it's always fun talking about these players and their props. Lonte, anything else, man, before we get out of here?
That's it, man. I think we pretty much hit it all in two segments. So, yeah.
Yeah, nice, easy, got it done here. Hopefully we did find winners to close out the year. Mentioned this on the NBA pod, but if you haven't already listened to the NBA Gambling Podcast, please do us a favor, do that, and then come over here, or maybe you're listening to the second here for the NBA player props here for tonight. So we always mention it, be responsible when you're in your betting. Don't go outside of your means. We've all been down that road. But enjoy the time tonight on New Year's Eve with family and friends. Be responsible. Call an Uber if you need to. If you're going to have a lot of fun, that's important. Number one, most important thing, call that Uber, call that Lyft, wherever you need to be. Just don't, get behind the wheel if you can't drive, if you are intoxicated. I can't stress that enough. Make sure you guys follow Lonte over on the Twitter machine at XXLonteXX. You can follow me there as well at SportsNerd824. If you hadn't already, subscribe to the Propcast on YouTube. Please do us a favor. Go subscribe there. We're on the march to 1,000 subscribers. And we can only do that with the help of you if you haven't already subscribed. All right, we'll talk to you guys for the NFL Propcast later this week with myself and Chris. So look out for us then. Till then, good luck with your bets. Let's break these books off, but always remember, always to let it ride.
What the hell? This guy said my neighbor shot his own foot last year by accident on New Year's Eve.
Oh, you did?